Hello everyone, welcome to today's lecture. So in the other lecture we studied about the general characteristics of carbon compounds. Today we will be studying the last part of the chapter about two carbon compounds, about the physical and chemical properties of two carbon compounds, ethanol and ethanoic acid. First we will study about ethanol, page number 127. Ethanol and ethanoic acid are two of the commercially important carbon compounds. Let us now learn more about them. First is about ethanol. Okay, first is about ethanol. I have written the physical properties of ethanol. It is colorless. The boiling point of ethanol is about 78 degrees Celsius. Its name, it is also commonly called as alcohol or spirit. It is soluble in water. It is neutral in nature. It is not acidic or basic. It is neutral in nature. Its consumption is harmful to us. Okay, even in small amounts, its consumption is harmful to us. It affects the central nervous system. Pure ethanol or absolute alcohol, pure ethanol, 100% ethanol or pure ethanol, also called as absolute alcohol, is lethal. That means it can cause death. Its consumption can cause death. Now, where it is used? It is used as a good solvent in laboratories, in industries. It is used as a good solvent. It is used in medicines. It is used in making cough syrups and to make tincture iodine. Okay, we had studied in the other lecture about tincture iodine. Tincture iodine is a mixture of iodine and ethanol in water. Okay, so these are the physical properties of ethanol. Now there is a box towards the left hand side. In that they have given about methanol. Okay, methanol, it is a lower homologue of alcohol. Okay, which is having only one carbon atom. It is CH3OH. It is comparatively poisonous than that of ethanol. So to reduce the consumption of ethanol, sometimes methanol is added to ethanol. To prevent misuse, okay, to prevent misuse of ethanol, methanol is added to it so that people don't drink it. So methanol plus ethanol will give you denatured spirit. So what is the mixture of methanol and ethanol called as? It is denatured spirit. To that a blue dye is added so that it appears, its color is blue. Okay, now the chemical properties. The first chemical property is reaction with sodium. The ethanol, the alcohols generally react with sodium to form their sodium alkoxides. Here they have given the reaction of ethanol with sodium. Ethanol will react with sodium to form sodium ethoxide and hydrogen. This reaction is important. It is asked. Okay, it is so sodium plus ethanol gives sodium ethoxide plus hydrogen. Now there are some questions which have been given below. We will discuss that. Okay, which gas is liberated? Hydrogen gas is liberated. Now, which is the combustible gas coming out of the gas delivery tube? It is hydrogen. It burns with a pop sound. If you show a burning splinter towards the mouth of the test tube or the flask, then it will burn with a pop sound, which shows that it is hydrogen gas. Why do the sodium pieces appear to dance on the surface of ethanol? Okay, now the reaction of sodium is a very reactive metal. The reaction of sodium with ethanol is highly reactive. It is very fast, due to which the gas released, it is very fast, due to which the gas pushes the sodium metal and it moves to on the surface of the ethanol, and we feel that it is dancing. Okay, the answer, reaction with ethanol is fast and gas released pushes it across the surface of ethanol. I repeat, reaction with ethanol is very fast and gas released pushes it across the surface of ethanol. Next, repeat the above procedure using magnesium ribbon instead of sodium. Do you see gas bubble released from the piece of magnesium ribbon? No. Does magnesium metal react with alcohol? No. Okay, so why gas is not produced? Because it does not react only. Okay, so magnesium do not react with ethanol because it is comparatively less reactive than that of sodium. Now we may move on to the next page, page number 128. First paragraph, though ethanol is neutral, it reacts with sodium metal and liberates hydrogen gas. Okay, and sodium being highly reactive metal, it reacts with neutral functional group OH of ethanol. Okay, now the next is dehydration reaction. Now this dehydration reaction, dehydration means it is removal of water. That means water is one of the products. So here CH3CH2OH, that is ethanol, when it is heated to 170 degrees Celsius in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid, then it gets converted into ethene or ethylene and water is removed. As water is removed, it is a type of dehydration reaction. Okay, page number 128. When ethanol is heated at the temperature 170 degrees Celsius with excess amount of concentrated sulfuric acid, one molecule of water is removed from its molecule to form ethene, an unsaturated compound. Okay, so alcohols get converted into alkenes when heated with concentrated H2SO4 to undergo dehydration reaction. Here H2SO4 is acting as a dehydrating agent. Now there is a use your brain power question. First one, explain by writing a reaction what will happen when pieces of sodium metal are put in N-propyl alcohol. Okay, that is propanol. N-propyl alcohol means normal straight chain propanol. Okay, so the reaction I have given here, this is propanol CH3CH2CH2OH, okay, plus sodium. It will react to form sodium propoxide. When it reacts with ethanol, it forms sodium ethoxide. When it reacts with propanol, it forms sodium propoxide and hydrogen gas. Which gas is liberated? Hydrogen gas is liberated. Now the next question, explain by writing a reaction which product will be formed on heating N-butyl alcohol with concentrated sulfuric acid. Now here I have given the reaction, that is, this is butanol. Butyl alcohol means butanol. When it is heated to 170 degrees Celsius and concentrated sulfuric acid is added to it, it will undergo dehydration reaction to form but1-ene. Okay, now in IUPAC system, this is the first carbon atom. C double bond C is considered as a functional group. So this carbon atom will be given the number 1 and not this carbon atom. Okay, I will explain this at the end of this lecture. but1-ene and H2O. This is the reaction. Now page number 128 in the box, alcohol is used as a fuel. The sugarcane plant transforms solar energy into chemical energy very efficiently. When molasses obtained during production of sugar from sugarcane is subjected to fermentation, ethanol is obtained. Now you must be knowing that ethanol, you get ethanol from fermentation of molasses. On combustion in sufficient air, ethanol gives carbon dioxide and water as the byproducts, which we have already learnt. So ethanol is a clean fuel. Therefore, in some countries, it is used as an additive to increase the efficiency of petrol. Such a fuel is called gasohol. Now, this is a very important question. What is gasohol? So, gasohol is a mixture of ethanol and petrol. Okay, why ethanol is added? Because it is a clean fuel. This you may mark in your textbook. Okay, so we have finished with the physical properties and chemical properties of ethanol. Now we will see ethanoic acid. Now the next, ethanoic acid. First we will see the molecular formula. Molecular formula of ethanoic acid is CH3COOH, also called as acetic acid. Physical properties, it is a colorless liquid. Its boiling point is about 118 degrees Celsius. It is commonly called as acetic acid. It is acidic in nature and turns blue litmus red. It is called as vinegar, which is used as a preservative. What is vinegar? 5 to 8% aqueous solution of acetic acid is called as vinegar, which is used as a preservative in making pickles. Melting point is about 17 degrees Celsius. So during winters, what happens? It freezes and it looks like ice. The name of that particular compound, it is called as glacial acetic acid. So frozen ethanoic acid is called as glacial acetic acid. Next, the chemical properties. First chemical property is reaction with a strong base. Here the base is sodium hydroxide. This is an acid. You have learnt about neutralization reaction, in which acid reacts with base to give salt and water. So this is ethanoic acid reacting with sodium hydroxide, which is a base, to form sodium ethanoate and water. Okay, this is a salt and this is water. Now on page number 129, reaction with base. Below that reaction they have given a question. You have learnt in the previous standard that acetic acid is a weak acid. Will the salt sodium acetate be neutral? No, it will be a basic salt. Why it will be a basic salt? Because the acid is weak and the base is strong. So weak acid plus strong base will give you basic salt. Okay, this we had studied last year. Weak acid plus strong base will give you basic salt. Strong acid plus weak base will give you acidic salt. Strong acid plus strong base will give you neutral salt. Weak acid plus weak base will give you neutral salt. Okay, so here as the acid is weak, the salt which is formed will be basic. Now the next is reaction with carbonate and bicarbonate. There is an apparatus given. You may see figure 9.24. You have to take a test tube. You have to take sodium carbonate in the test tube, close it with a cork, connect thistle funnel and a delivery tube to it, and you have to add acetic acid through the thistle funnel. When acetic acid comes in contact with ethanoic acid, this is the reaction. Acetic acid will come in contact with sodium carbonate. Okay, it will come in contact with sodium carbonate to form sodium ethanoate. This is sodium ethanoate plus water and plus carbon dioxide. You had studied this last year also. When acid reacts with a base, okay, when a carbonate, when it reacts with a carbonate or a bicarbonate, the salt, carbon dioxide and water is released. Here CH3COOH reacts with a carbonate to form the particular salt, water and carbon dioxide. It is reacting with bicarbonate. This is sodium bicarbonate. Again it is forming CH3COONA, that is sodium ethanoate plus water plus carbon dioxide. Now there are some questions given. Which gas does come out as effervescence in the big test tube? Which gas comes out? Which gas is formed? It is carbon dioxide gas which is formed. Why are bubbles seen in the small test tube? Now the gas which is produced in the bigger test tube, it rises through the delivery tube and it enters into the small test tube. In the small test tube, what they have taken? They have taken fresh lime water. What will happen to the lime water? The lime water will turn milky. Why? Because the gas produced is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide will react with lime water. Okay, it will react to form calcium carbonate, which is white in color. So the lime water turns milky. This also we had studied in chapter 3. So why are bubbles seen in the small test tube? Due to formation of CO2, due to passing of CO2. What is the color change in lime water? What is the color change? The color changes, lime water turns milky. Write the related equation. Equation is CaOH twice plus CO2 gives CaCO3 plus H2O. I repeat, CaOH twice plus CO2 gives CaCO3 plus H2O. CaOH twice is lime water. It will react with carbon dioxide to form CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate and water. Okay, so this is the reaction. The two reactions are given on page number 130. Okay, ethanoic acid reacts with basic salt, that is sodium carbonate, to form sodium ethanoate, water and carbon dioxide gas. Similar to that, it reacts with bicarbonate also to form sodium ethanoate, carbon dioxide gas and water. Now use your brain power question. Explain with reaction why does the lime water turns milky in the above activity. Why does it turn milky? Because the gas formed during the reaction is carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide, when it is passed through lime water, it will react with lime water to form calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate is white in color, due to which the lime water turns milky. Next, explain the reaction that would take place when a piece of sodium metal is dropped in ethanoic acid. I have given the reaction here. Okay, the C2CH3COOH, that is ethanoic acid, reacting with sodium to form sodium ethanoate plus hydrogen. You may write the answer there itself. Next, two test tubes contain two colorless liquids, ethanol and ethanoic acid. Explain by writing reaction with chemical test you would perform, which chemical test you would perform to tell which substance is present in which test tube. Okay, so you have been given two test tubes. In one test tube there is ethanol and in another test tube there is ethanoic acid. Now how will you differentiate whether it is ethanol or ethanoic acid? It is with the help of adding bicarbonate or carbonate to it. Okay, so you may add sodium bicarbonate or sodium carbonate. Ethanoic acid reacts. Okay, the reaction takes place for ethanoic acid, whereas in case of ethanol it does not react with carbonate or bicarbonate. Okay, because it is comparatively neutral. Next is esterification reaction. Now we had studied about the functional group esters earlier. Okay, so what is ester? Ester is a carbon compound which is having a functional group COO. Okay, COO in the middle. How can it be prepared? Substances having ester as the functional group are formed by reaction between carboxylic acid and an alcohol. Now here they have given a setup. Page number 130, figure 9.25. They have taken a beaker. In the beaker they have taken water. In that beaker containing water they have kept a test tube which has a mixture of ethanoic acid, ethanol and concentrated sulfuric acid. Okay, so the reaction is taking place in presence of concentrated sulfuric acid and a catalyst. So what you have to take in the test tube? You have to take ethanol, ethanoic acid and concentrated sulfuric acid. Now what will happen during the reaction? You may see this is ethanoic acid, this is ethanol. Okay, this is ethanol. This hydrogen and this OH, it is removed, okay, to form, it is inverted, it is for you to study, CH3COO CH2CH3. This is an ester. You may see that it is having the functional group COO in the middle, so that is why it is an ester. What is the name of the ester? It is ethyl ethanoate. Okay, ethyl ethanoate. This is the ethyl group. There are two carbon atoms, so it is ethyl ethanoate plus water. So it is a type of esterification reaction. So what is meant by esterification reaction? A reaction in which an acid reacts with an alcohol to form an ester. So here ethanoic acid reacts with ethanol to form ethyl ethanoate and water, which is an esterification reaction. This is a very important question. Okay, now on page number 131, esters have sweet odor. Majority of fruits owe their odor to the particular carbon compound ester present in it. It can make fragrances. It is used in making fragrances and flavoring agents. Now what is saponification reaction? Okay, now this is an important question. Saponification is a process in which an ester reacts with a base to form sodium carboxylate and alcohol. Okay, sodium carboxylate and alcohol. You may underline. When an ester is reacted with alkali sodium hydroxide, the corresponding alcohol and carboxylic acid are obtained back. This reaction is called as saponification reaction, as it is used for preparation of soaps from fats. Okay, you may learn this. It is a 2-mark question. Now use your brain power question on that page. When fat is heated with sodium hydroxide solution, soap and glycerin are formed. Which functional groups might be present in fat and glycerin? Okay, so fat is heated with sodium hydroxide solution to get soap and glycerin. The functional group in fat is ester. The functional group in glycerin is alcohol. Okay, I repeat, the functional group in fat is ester and the functional group in glycerin is alcohol. You may write the answer. So this is about the two compounds, that is ethanol, physical properties, chemical properties, and ethanoic acid, physical properties, chemical properties. Now we'll go to the next. Now the last topic, macromolecules and polymers. First, can you tell questions? What are the chemical names of nutrients that we get from the foodstuff, namely cereals, pulses and meat? What do we get? The different nutrients like proteins, okay, proteins, vitamins and minerals. What are the chemical substances that make cloth, furniture and elastic objects? Okay, so nylon, cellulose, rubber, silk, etc. These are the substances that make cloth, furniture and elastic objects. Now, what do you mean by macromolecules? You may underline the definition. The giant carbon molecules formed from hundreds of thousands of atoms are called as macromolecules. Okay, so macromolecule is a big sized molecules. It is having molecular mass as large as 10 raised to 1 to 10 raised to 12. It is having molecular mass as large as 10 raised to 12. Okay, so it is a big giant molecule. Understood? Now macromolecules are of two types. Here I have shown macromolecules are of two types, natural and man-made. The natural macromolecules are which occur naturally. Example, polysaccharide, proteins, carbohydrates, etc. And man-made macromolecules are man-made fibers like nylon, rayon, then elastomers, which is similar to rubber, which has the elastic property of rubber, and plastic. You are familiar with the term plastic. Okay, so these are all man-made macromolecules. Now we will see natural macromolecules. You may underline polysaccharides, proteins and nucleic acids. Okay, polysaccharides, namely starch and cellulose. Starch and cellulose. Starch is formed in plants. Okay, cellulose is found in plants, in living organisms, so it is a natural macromolecule. Proteins constitute a part of bodies of animals. Nucleic acids help in heredity. Next is man-made macromolecules. You may underline man-made fibers, elastomers, which have the property of rubber. You may underline, it is a fill in the blank question. Plastics, from which you can make different articles. These are examples of synthetic or man-made macromolecules. Now we may move on to the next term, that is a polymer. Now what do you mean by a polymer? Here I have shown what do you mean by a polymer. Polymer is a big compound which is made up of small units called monomers. So one monomer plus another monomer plus another monomer plus another monomer and many monomers combine together to make a polymer. So many monos makes a poly. This process that is said to be polymerization. Okay, so what is polymerization? A process in which several monomers combine together to form a polymer, that is said to be polymerization. So we will see polymers. A macromolecule formed by regular repetition of a small unit is called a polymer. The small unit that repeats regularly to form a polymer is called a monomer. The reaction by which monomer molecules are converted into polymer is called as polymerization. You may underline all these points. These all are important points. They are all definitions. Now on the next page, page number 132. Figure 9.24, they have given polymerization of ethylene. Okay, polymerization of ethylene. So one ethylene plus another ethylene plus another ethylene. In the textbook they have given 3. So that is why I have written only 3. It is not that it is only 3. There are several number of ethylene molecules to combine together to form polyethylene. So here you may see there is a double bond here, there is a double bond here, there is a double bond here. Now if I break this double bond, then there is a single bond. Then 1, 2, 3, 1 is left on this side, 1 is left on this side. For this also, if the double bond is broken and converted into a single bond, there is one bond developing on both sides. In this case also, if the double bond is getting converted into single bond, there are branches developing on both sides. Now these can combine together to form polyethylene. Okay, so this is how it is shown. This is one unit and the bracket N. N stands for any number of units. Okay, so this is the diagram given for several monomers in your textbook. Okay, so this structure means that N number of molecules of this unit. Okay, so this is about polymerization of ethylene. Now we may move on to figure 9.27. In that diagram, name of the polymer polyethylene, constituent monomer is ethylene. The structural formula you may see. Okay, you may see the structural formula of the polymer. This is the structure which they have shown, that is of one unit. It is used in making carry bags and sportswear. Next is polystyrene. The constituent monomer is styrene. It is used in making thermocol articles. Polyvinyl chloride, that is PVC. The constituent monomer is vinyl chloride. It is used in making PVC pipes, doormats, tubes and bags in hospital kits. Next is polyacrylonitrile. The constituent monomer is acrylonitrile. Uses is winter clothing and blankets in making them. Teflon is tetrafluoroethylene, non-stick cookware. Polypropylene is the constituent monomer. It is used in making injection syringe, furniture, etc. Now the question which could be asked is, they will give you the name of the polymer and they will ask you the name of constituent monomer or the uses. Otherwise it could be asked as a match the following question also. For this year it has been deleted from the syllabus, but you may just go through it and read it. Now the next point below is about polymers. Polymers are of two types, homopolymers and copolymers. Homopolymers and copolymers. In homopolymers, all these units are the same. Okay, same monomers combined together to form a polymer. It is a homopolymer. Whereas in copolymers, there are two or more different types of monomers. Okay, so one monomer is of one kind, another unit is of another kind. That is said to be a copolymer. An example given is PET, which is a type of plastic, which is polyethylene terephthalate. You may learn the full form also. Okay, now this is about the polymers. Now we may move on to page number 133. In the table, they have given the examples of some natural polymers. The first natural polymer example is polysaccharide. The name of the monomer is glucose, and several glucose units combine together to form starch. Next is cellulose. Again it is glucose. Wood is an example of that. Next is proteins. Monomer is amino acids. Several amino acids combine together to form a protein which makes muscle, hair, enzymes, skin, egg, etc. DNA. Okay, it is a polymer which is made up of several nucleotides. If you remember, one nucleotide is made up of one adenine, okay, one nitrogen base and a phosphate molecule. It is found in chromosomes of living organisms. RNA, it is also made up of several nucleotide units. It is found in nucleus and cytoplasm of every cell. Rubber, the name of the monomer is isoprene. It is an objective. It occurs in the latex of rubber tree. So these are some examples of natural polymers. Now use your brain power question. Structural formulae of some monomers are given below. Write the structural formula of the homopolymer formed from them. Okay. Now the first one I have shown here. This is the question which they have given. Now the double bond will be broken. Okay. If the double bond breaks, there is one bond which is developing here and one branch which is left here. That will make the the unit. Okay, it will make the homopolymer. This is the answer. The second one, this is the structure given B. This is the structure given. There is a double bond here. This double bond will break and one bond will be developed here and one bond here. Okay, so if one double bond breaks, there are two branches which are developing. Okay, so this is the answer for that. And the third question, from the given structural formula of polyvinyl acetate that is used in paints, glues, deduce the name and structural formula of the corresponding monomer. The monomer is polyvinyl acetate. Now this is the structure given. Okay, this is the structure given. From this you have to write the original formula. This question, this is the reverse of that. Now here you may see this is a free bond, this is a free bond. You have to remove them and put a double bond here. Okay, so this will be the answer. You may see here I have put a double bond, here there is no bond, here there is no bond. Okay, so this is the homopolymer. It is written like this also. It is called as polyvinyl acetate. Okay, so we have finished with the chapter. This chapter is very, very important. You have to read it several times, practice it several times, then only you will be able to study the chapter. Okay, now we will see the IUPAC namings in the exercise. Exercise question on page number 134. Question number 5. Write the IUPAC names of the following structural formulae. They have given you some structural formulae. You have to write the IUPAC namings. Okay. So the first one is this CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3. Here you may see there is no double bond. There is no functional group. Okay. So you can directly write the name. How many carbon atoms? 4 carbon atoms. 4 carbon atoms means it is bute. Okay. It is bute or butane. Now, as it is having CC, single bond only, I will add OANE to it. So it will be butane. As it is a straight chain hydrocarbon, it will be N-butane. Now the next is CH3, CHOH, CH3. Now you may see there is a functional group here. The functional group is OH. Okay. But there are 3 carbon atoms. So I will write this as propane first. Okay. So propane, why? Because it is having 3 carbon atoms. What is the functional group it is having? The functional group it is having is OH, that is alcohol. What is the suffix which is added? The suffix is OL. So I will remove E and write OL. Now you have to number the carbon atoms. I can either number it from the left to right or from right to left. Whether it is from left to right or it is from right to left, it will be the second carbon atom. Even if I take it from right to left, then it will be second carbon atom. That means the functional group is present on the second carbon atom. Okay, so the name will be 2-propanol or propan 2-ol. This will be the name. Now the next CH3, CH2, COOH. How many carbon atoms? 3. So I will write propane. 3 carbon atoms, so propane. What is the functional group? Carboxylic acid, and it is always towards one side, so there is no tension of numbering the carbon atoms. So propane, and what is the suffix? The suffix is oic acid, so I will remove E and write propanoic acid. So the name will be propanoic acid. CH3, CH2, NH2. You may see how many carbon atoms? 2. So it is ethane. What is the functional group? NH2. That is amine. What is the suffix added? It is amine. So I will remove E and write amine. So it will be ethanamine. Now the next is CH3CHO. How many carbon atoms? 2. So it is ethane. CHO group means aldehyde group. It is always towards one side. Okay, so then there is no tension of numbering the carbon atoms. So it is aldehyde. What will be the suffix? The suffix will be Al. Okay, so I will remove E and write Al. Now the next CH3CO, CH2, CH3. How many carbon atoms? 4. So it is butane. Okay, it is butane, and CO group is present. That means it is a ketone group. So what will be the suffix? The suffix is ONE. But in this case you have to number the carbon atoms. I will number it from left to right. This will be 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will, the carbon atom which is having the functional group O, it is the second carbon atom. If I number from here to here, then it will get the number 3. So I cannot take this, I cannot accept this because you need the lower number. So it will be butan 2-ONE. It can be also written as butanon. It can be also written as 2-butanon. Okay, it is 2-butanon or butan 2-ONE. This is about IUPAC system nomenclature. Now the next is question number 7. You have to write the structural formula of the following compounds. The first one is pent 2-ONE. Pent means it is having 5 carbon atoms. So I will draw 5 carbon atoms first. 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now you may see which functional group is there? ONE. That means C double bond O. On which carbon atom? It is on second carbon atom. So here I can write it here also, here also. Both of it will be correct. Even if you put it here, you will get it correct. Even if you put it here, you will get it correct. The remaining will be hydrogen. You may see that each one of them are having 4 branches around it. Now the next is 2-chlorobutane. So butane I will draw 4. Okay, as it is butane. It is 2-chloro. 2-chloro means chlorine on the second carbon atom. I can put here also, I can put here also. Okay, so I am putting it here. This is chloro. I will fill it up with hydrogen. What has been remaining? With every carbon atom having 4 branches. Now the next is propan 2-ol. Propan, that means it is 3 carbon atoms. 2, that means on the second position there is OL, that is alcohol group. So this is the second carbon atom which is having OH. The others are having hydrogen. Okay. Now the next is methanol. Okay. Methanol is CHO. Okay. CHO. It could be also written as C double bond OH. Now there is one left. This is having H. It will be HCHO or this way. This is methanal. Methan means there is only one carbon atom. Okay. Now the next is butanoic acid. Butan means there are 4 carbon atoms, and it is oic acid means it is COOH. So I will make this COOH. I will write it as COOH. What is remaining? The remaining I will put it. Okay. Now this can be written like this also, C double bond OH. I had explained the structure in the lecture in which I had explained about functional groups. This will be the structure of butanoic acid. Next is 1 bromopropane. Propane, so 3 carbon atoms. Which functional group? Bromo. Where? First carbon atom. So I will put here. I can put here also, anywhere. The remaining will be hydrogen. Okay, all of them should not be Br. This should be H, this should be H, and one of them should be Br. Okay. This next is ethanamine. That means it is having 2 carbon atoms and 1 NH2 group. Okay, 1 NH2 group remaining with hydrogen atoms. This is ethanamine. Next is butanon. Okay, butane means 4 carbon atoms. ONE. Okay, ONE means it is having double bond O, that is ketone group. It should be in the middle, either here or here. Okay, whether I take it here, then also it is 2-butanon. If I take it here, then also it is 2-butanon. Okay, now why I didn't put double bond O here? Because I had told you when I taught you functional group, the rule is that for ketones is that it should be in the middle somewhere. That means it should be having C on both sides. So I can put it here. If there are 2 C's, if I put it here, there are these 2 C's. The others will be hydrogen atoms. This is the structure of butanon. Okay. Now I will add one more topic. Now we will study the structure of propene and butene. These are some questions which are asked in your schools. So propene, you may see it is having 3 carbon atoms. As it is ENE, there is a carbon-carbon double bond. I shall put it here, either here or this side. Okay, for this 2 are left, 3 are left. This is the structure of propene. Now we will see butene. So for butene, I will take 4 carbon atoms. Okay, I will take 4 carbon atoms. If I put the double bond here, then 2 are left for this, 1 for this, 2 for this, and 3 for this. Okay, so hope you are getting why I am putting those branches. Every C should be having 4 lines around it. You may count and see. Okay, so here you may see this carbon atom. I will number it as 1, this as 2, this as 4, and this as 4. Okay, this has 3 and this has 4. Why I didn't put the number 1 here? Because C is considered as a functional group. Okay, C is considered as a functional group. The rule is you have to start from one end. You cannot start in the middle. You have to start from one end, but that end should be nearest to the functional group. So here CC is the functional group and this is the nearest end. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So the name of this is but1-ene or 1-butene. Okay, it will be but1-ene or 1-butene. Similarly, one more structure I can show you. These are 4 carbon atoms. If I put the double bond here, then this is left with 3, this is 1, this with 1, and this is left with 3. This is the structure. This is also butene, but I can number it from this way 1, 2, 3, 4, or from this way also 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I have to take the smallest number. It is in between 2 and 3. I will take the smaller number, so it will be but2-ene or 2-butene. Okay, it could be 2-butene. These questions are asked. You are asked to draw but1-ene or but2-ene or 1-butene, 2-butene. Okay, similarly pentene also I will show you about pentene. I have to take 5 carbon atoms. If I put the number here, I am not showing the branches now. This will be 1-pentene. If I put the branch here, it will be 2-pentene. if I put the branch here also, then also it will be 2-pentene. Okay, it will be 2-pentene. If I put the number here, then also it will be 2-pentene. Now if I am taking 6 carbon atoms, this will be 1 hexene, this will be 2 hexene, this will be 2 hexene, this will be 3 hexene. Okay, this is the way how it is numbered in case of alkenes and alkynes. I had forgotten this in the lecture in which I had taught you IUPAC naming. This you have to include under that topic. Okay, so we have finished with the chapter. Practice it thoroughly. If you are having any doubts, you may ask. Thank you.